Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we're going to be working from the second Outlander kitchen cookbook from Teresa Carle-Sanders, and we're going to be making the Argus House chocolate cake. This is a pretty casual type cake. It is just a layer of cake, no frosting, no filling, just cake. You can dust it with confectioner's sugar to make it prettier when you serve it, but that's all. And it is a steamed cake. So first we're going to talk about how we're going to steam it. I have a steamer that my 9-inch pan fits in pretty well. So this is how I'm going to do it. She suggests that you make a 1-inch coil of aluminum foil or circle of aluminum foil that you can set this on in a Dutch oven, and then you fill the water to about half to 3/4 of that 1 inch. This is just a lot easier for me and I don't have to worry about the water boiling too much. So this is how we will be steaming it. However, there's one other thing. So when you steam something, you definitely want a lid on it. However, you don't want the water on the lid to drip down into your cake. So I've got my lid, I've got a large dish towel here that I am wrapping around my lid, and I'm going to use just a chip clip to keep it on there, and then we can put this on top and the water from the steam won't drop into our cake. That's the hope. So now that that's all set up, my pan is also buttered and I have a circle of parchment on the bottom as she suggests. Okay. I don't have my water boiling yet because I think you are supposed to put the cake in and then turn it on. That's in the instructions, but the instructions are all on the second page from the name of the recipe and the ingredients. So first, we're going to put together the dry ingredients. So I've measured it all out already. I've got some plain all-purpose flour. I've got some cocoa. She does say you should use a natural cocoa, not Dutch process. Something about the chemistry of a Dutch process cocoa versus natural. The Dutch process is washed in an alkali solution and it does not work in recipes that use baking soda as the leavening agent. So I've got this. I happen to have some Ghirardelli cocoa to use up in the pantry, so that's what I'm using today. So we're going to add that to our flour. And in our dry ingredients, we also have salt, some cinnamon, and the baking soda that she says is why we need to use natural. And I think that's it. We're going to sort of whisk this up to aerate it and get it mixed up and get any lumps out. I prefer this to sifting anyway. All right, so our dry ingredients are together. So I'm going to put this back there and get a bowl for our wet ingredients. All right, somewhat larger bowl. We're going to start with our brown sugar. This is just light brown sugar. I have some butter that has been melted and cooled slightly, but it's still liquid, obviously. So we're supposed to, oh, also, oops, I was not supposed to put the butter in yet. Oh well, it's done now. I was supposed to whisk the brown sugar and the eggs together first. But this is going to be what it's going to be. My butter is not hot, so it's not going to hurt my eggs for sure. But my eggs will kind of cool down my butter because they were from the refrigerator. Anyway, so we're going to mix this up. We're supposed to mix the eggs into it for at least 30 seconds. No, until it is lightened. I'm going to just whisk this for a while, so. My arm hurts. I'm calling that done. Now I need to add some whole milk, the butter at this point, which I have already put in there. I'm going to mix this up a little bit because the next ingredient, I don't want to react with my milk poorly. There we go. So we have some plain white vinegar. This is way more than I need, but I just wanted to have a huge jug of it, and I just wanted to be able to dip out what I needed. And now some vanilla. So that's all of our wet ingredients. And now, I'm going to put some of this stuff out of my way. So now I'm going to add the flour mixture, and we're still going to use our whisk, but only until sort of just combined. I'm going to assume that lumps are okay because it says until just combined. There we go. And now I'm going to fold in some walnut pieces. I've chopped mine pretty finely using this nut chopper that I have. It's a lot of nuts. Just because it says walnut pieces, but the pictures looked like the walnuts were chopped pretty finely, so, and I really don't like chopping them by hand anyway, so sure, we'll use that. So now we're just going to fold these in. Oops. There we go. So we're going to put this in our pan. I'm just going to leave the pan in here. It's going to be a little difficult to get out, but I'll handle it. But we're going to pour this into our pan and smooth out the top. I'm going to sort of spread this, smooth it out. There we go. So I'm going to go put this over my pan of water. I've got a couple of inches of water in the bottom just because it doesn't come anywhere near the bottom of this. We're going to put the cover that we've covered with the towel on top of this, and we're going to put it on high heat until it boils. And we're going to reduce it to low and steam it keeping the cover on for 20 to 25 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. So I'm going to go do that, and it's 20 to 25 minutes after it comes to a boil. So this will take us maybe 30 minutes or so, depending on how high or high heat, how soon it boils water, but we'll see when it's all done. I ended up cooking my cake at 5-minute intervals for an extra 15 minutes based on when I first set the timer for 20 minutes. So I cooked it for 35 minutes after I thought it was steaming. That could have been just, it wasn't actually steaming very well when I set the original timer, but basically about every 5 minutes I checked to see if it was done, and finally the toothpick came out clean. But now we need to wait until this is entirely cool before we flip it out onto a plate. So you're supposed to flip it onto a plate and then flip it back onto a plate, because this is supposed to be the pretty side. You can kind of see, I'll take a picture. My lid with the, I'll show you actually. My lid was too close. So that wouldn't happen if I had used the method in the recipe, because it would have been, there would have been much more space between the lid and my cake, but some of it stuck to the towel. But that's okay. It's just for family. If you want it to look a little bit prettier, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't use a pan where it will be really close to the top. So we will let you know what we think and kind of show you what it looks like when we cut it up and make it all pretty in just a second. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make Argus House chocolate cake. This was a steamed chocolate cake. I had a little bit of a problem because my pan and my steaming situation was not quite tall enough. I do think, a coil of aluminum foil and a Dutch oven would probably have worked out better, but that's not what I did. But that's okay. It was still delicious. It was great. It was a little bit less pretty than it would have been if I had not had it touching the top of my towel, or the bottom of my lid, the towel that was on my lid. I really liked the nuts in it. I did like that I cut them pretty small. That meant they sort of spread throughout the cake, and it wasn't like just like a big piece of walnuts. But whatever you like, that's just it. I felt like it gave more flavor to all of the cake because it was spread out through the cake instead of just being like a piece occasionally. I was a little concerned about the cinnamon, but I really feel like it tasted slightly of cinnamon, but it didn't feel like a cinnamon cake. I think the cinnamon just sort of enhanced the chocolate flavor, and it was really easy to put together. It was just, sort of mix it together, fold in the nuts. I like that I did not have to, whip the egg whites and all that kind of stuff. That's just not something I'm going to do. And I'm sure you could bake this and not steam it. You could bake it in the oven. Just be careful. It might end up a little less moist because you're cooking it in the moist heat when you're steaming it, but I'm sure it would be fine if you don't want to go through that effort. But it was an interesting technique that I had not tried before, and I may do it again. I guess we'll see if this turns out to be something that I do more often, but it was great with all by itself, or with some whipped cream, or I think we added some raspberries because I had them the first time, and some strawberries because it's strawberry season. And I had them the next time, and strawberries and raspberries and chocolate go very well together. So we enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and come back and watch me make something else next week.